What's up, Eastern Oregon? This is Max McCullough from the men's basketball team at EOU, and you're watching Eastern Oregon Live Sports with Dodsey.
What is up, Eastern Oregon? This is Dodsey, and this is your sports show for Thursday, October 14th, 2021. This is all brought to you by Northwest Furniture and Mattress. On Elm, off Adams in LeGrand. Big red rocking chair. They just posted this picture of a set that they have in their showroom right now. Check it out. I mean, this furniture is beautiful. It's American-made. The Daggett family, they support the community. They also support this show. So what you can do for me is go support them. Northwest Furniture and Mattress right here in LeGrand. Sports-wise, LeGrand High School football has a bye this week. The soccer teams, I think both the girls and boys soccer teams are off until next week. Volleyball is playing right now in Baker. As for EOU, the football team has a bye this week as well, a much-needed bye. They're on a 3-game skid, and they just got to go to the drawing board and get this figured out to try to make this the national tournament and win the Frontier Conference. Volleyball plays Friday night in Lewiston. EOU volleyball Friday night in Lewiston against LC State, and then they travel to College Place and take on Walla Walla on Saturday. Those are big games. EOU volleyball just came out. They're ranked 13th in the nation, and Kaki's got that team reeling right now. And I hope that we get to play Corbin in the championship, the CCC championship, and maybe it'll be a flip flop of last year. Last year, we beat Corbin both times during the regular season, I believe. We might have split, but then they beat us at home in the CCC championship. So maybe it's just going to be a flip of last year. That would be awesome. Men's soccer, they play at home against OIT on Friday at 4 p.m. And then the same thing on Saturday, they take on Southern Oregon University. Women's soccer, same thing, but they play the later game. So they play at 6:30 on Friday at home against OIT. And then they play again at 6:30 on Saturday at home against Southern. And I do believe one of those two games is senior day. So get out there to Community Stadium and support these Mounties, man. I mean, it's super important. The soccer team, our women's soccer team is like top 20. I think they're 18th in the nation, and they're legit. And our men's soccer team is right on the edge of being really good. They have a chance at making the CCC tournament and a chance at making the national tournament. They're right in the middle of the pack right now, and they could use all the support they could get. With that, let me tell you about Metrim MD in LeGrand. Metrim MD, I mean, it's a simple choice. If you want to lose 5 pounds or if you want to lose 100 pounds, go get a consultation. I'll put the website right here. You can go to the website. You can go in. It's right here on 4th and Washington in LeGrand, right by the studio. You just go in and say you want a consultation. It's free. It's not overly expensive. Trust me on that. It's about the same price as it would cost you to eat regularly and go out every once in a while. I mean, it's about the same price for me. I've lost over 40 pounds on Metrim, and I'm a firm believer in it. There's no gimmicks. Metrim MD right here in LeGrand. Now let me get to the guest. He's a sophomore. He's team captain, and he's part of one of the teams that I've really grown to love at EOU. He's EOU men's soccer's Rudy Salinas. Here it is. Rudy, what's up?
Hi, Dodsey. What are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. So let's start it off how I like to start it all off. How'd you end up in Eastern Oregon?
Honestly, for me, it was more about soccer than anything else. Like, I really liked the soccer program, and then the school was honestly really fitting for me. It kind of got me out of where I was at, which was something I was looking forward to do, going to college. And yeah, like I said, mainly soccer, to be honest.
Yeah. So where'd you come from?
So I'm from Hillsboro, Oregon. It's by like Portland.
Hillsboro. I'm familiar with Hillsboro. I lived on the west side for 18 years.
Nice.
What high school did you go to?
I went to Liberty High School.
You went to Liberty, and so you're a sophomore. But we were talking earlier, and you said eligibility-wise, you're a freshman.
Yep.
But you're a familiar face on the EOU soccer team. I mean, I've seen you there. Is this is your second year?
Yes.
But last year doesn't count because of COVID.
Yeah, because of COVID.
Wow, that's crazy. So soccer wise, like what influenced you into, becoming a soccer player? Like why soccer?
I honestly cannot tell you. It started from like a really young age. It might have been just watching it, like watching the actual sport growing up. And then I also had a lot of family influences. My dad was a really big soccer player growing up. I went to his games. My mom played. Like growing up, as I got into it, both my sisters started playing as well. So it was just like it was in and out my family. So it's kind of
a
really got
family
me into
thing.
it.
It's just a family passion for the Salinas family.
Yes,
what about like, high school? Did you do any other sports?
I did track for a little bit, but it wasn't anything serious. Honestly, I put all my effort into soccer.
And you play, you're an attacker, right? A forward?
Yeah, I'm a center mid, yeah.
Yeah. So so a lot of people that watch the show don't truly understand that. So when you say center mid, right? That's the very middle of the field forward, right?
Yeah.
And so what's the difference between a center mid and a left attacker or a right attacker?
So generally, at least in our formation, we have people that tend to stay in the middle of the field. Not to say that they can't go out wide, but the center midfielders mainly stay in the middle of the park. They hardly go out to the edges of the field. And like an outside person is vice versa. They tend to stay on their side, not really going to the other side or really into the middle very often. They can, because it's very interchangeable throughout the game, but they tend to stay in like those specific areas.
So when we talk about like just the basics of soccer, does the person who play in the middle, do they gotta kind of be like ambidextrous or like kick well with both feet? Like, because I would think you would want like somebody that was right-footed playing the right side and maybe left-footed on the left side.
Yeah, I mean, well, ideally, I feel like you would want an ambidextrous person to be in the midfield, but if you're really good with one foot, then you don't really have the need for the other foot sometimes.
Yeah, and so soccer-wise, what did you play, like club soccer or just high school?
Yeah, I played club growing up ever since maybe like kindergarten going into high school.
You ever play at that Timbers complex that they built in Salem?
Yes.
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah, it's such a nice.
I went to a couple soccer games there, man, and I was just like, wow.
Yeah, one of the best fields I have seen in person, to be honest.
Yeah, it was. I can't imagine how much that cost, but it was big for the city of Salem. Like I remember going and watching the junior Timbers, like the feeder programs that they have there, and I was just so impressed, at the facility.
Yeah, it's a really nice pitch.
What's your favorite thing about Eastern Oregon now that you're here? Like what outside of soccer, outside of school, like what do you like about Eastern Oregon?
Honestly, it has to be the scenery. I'm not like a city boy, but it is like suburbs and very close to the city. So coming out here to having outdoors all around me, it is like one of the biggest things that changed. But I do not mind it one single bit. It's a really pretty place.
Yeah, one of the things I notice about all the soccer guys is you guys are like super active.
Yeah.
Like I see pictures all the time on your guys' social media, like at the lake or out doing stuff out in the wilderness, basically. And I kind of assume that would be because most of you guys come from places where you don't have this around you.
Yeah, for me, I don't really have any like outdoorsy place that close to me. Like here, you just look around and you see trees or you see mountains. And that's not very likely that you'll see that where I'm from.
Nice. So let's talk about the team goals for this year. What's the team goals? You're the first soccer player that I've had on this year. What are we trying to do as a soccer team, EOU men's soccer?
I mean, the big picture, to be fair, is going to the conference tournament. And honestly, we have high hopes of winning it. We have very high hopes for league as well. Right now, it's really open, so it is up in the air for that first place. We haven't had the greatest start, but we also haven't had a bad start. So, but yeah, getting to the conference tournament, making it to nationals, we have very high ambitions for ourselves this year.
Yeah. What about you personally? Like, what's your personal goals?
Honestly, team success is my personal goal at this point. Like, if the team's doing well, I really have no other choice but to be happy. That for me, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me a little bit about like the camaraderie on the team, because I see you guys a lot and I interact with you guys on social media and I know about it, but tell like the viewers, like your guys' camaraderie. What's that like?
It's like this year, more than any other year, has been one of the best years for me in terms of like soccer friends, because I got so close to a lot of the young players. The players that returned have been like really close as well. So for me, it's like nice to see that we all got along really fast and really well. Like you probably couldn't tell that some of us have only known each other for 3-4 months at this point.
Right. It's really obvious and apparent to me. I mean, I see it on a daily basis, not like in person necessarily, but definitely like in your guys' interactions on social media and just the way you guys lift each other up. And like I can speak about it because it's public knowledge and everything. The stuff with Greg, for instance. Like every one of you guys lifted that guy up, and that he went out on a limb there. You know what I mean? And it was just phenomenal to see, man. And I love that about EOU. I love that about this soccer team.
Yeah, I think it was really nice of him to do it. We had talked about that before, like me and him, and like as a team. So it wasn't something that caught us off guard. So it was really nice to see that he felt that he had the support and like the backing to go and do that. So It was really nice to see that.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. And one of the things that really impresses me too about the soccer team, and I don't know if everybody's doing this because I've never really like dove into it, but your mental health meetings, like seriously, that's like so important for young men, especially. Like people always talk about, like, oh, young women have all these struggles, but men don't have the opportunity or don't feel like it's okay to like truly like express the stuff that's going on with them. And that's like super important. Don't get into any details, but tell me about that. Like, tell me what that means to this team.
Well, that kind of started along like a little bit with the girls' side. Like they kind of, so Josh works with both the men's and the women's team, and he kind of brought it into ours, saying how it really helps them. And he just asked us what we would think about it. And honestly, a lot of the guys were like, they came with it with open arms. Like we all really, like I know for myself personally, I really enjoyed the idea of having something like that. Like you said, it's in like a men's culture. It's not always the most talked about thing, but like when he brought it up, it was something that a lot of people were okay with like trying at least. And honestly, we didn't do many because we all got really caught up with schedules and things like that. But it was really nice, the first ones that we had, to just be able to sit down and talk about things that we had going on, or just talk. Like we never really get to just like express things like that out in the open with other people.
Well, one of the stigmas is like, especially with us males, is like we think we have to be like these tough guys, right? Like we can't talk to our friends about, like all this stuff that's going on. And I love the fact that you guys have kind of embraced that. You know what? That's what you're there for. If you're somebody's friend, I mean, you should be able to tell them what's going on with you and not be judged. And I love that. So let's switch gears a little bit. What's your favorite food?
My favorite food right now is probably chicken Alfredo.
Chicken Alfredo?
Yes.
Nice. I like noodles, but I don't need noodles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I can't be messing around with too much chicken Alfredo, but it's bomb. It's fire. Do you like pineapple on pizza?
I'm not a fan of pineapple on pizza. It does not go on pizza.
No. Growing up, what was the favorite thing that your mom cooks or dad? Who cooks in your family, mom or dad?
Yes, my mom cooks. Favorite thing that my mom cooks out of everything that she cooks. Let's see. I would probably have to say enchiladas.
Oh yeah, red green,
enchiladas.
like straight up like traditional enchiladas.
Yes.
So I'm from San Diego originally. I grew up in a predominantly Hispanic area.
Nice.
I worked when I was in college. I worked in a restaurant, and I was the only white guy in the kitchen. All the rest, todos mexicanos, and so my passion for Mexican food is like through the roof. And my favorite Mexican food, definitely 100%, has to be the ceviche, like the Mexican style ceviche, though, not the South American style. Like there's a difference, as you know, and it's one of those things. Like on a hot day, man, like it's just so.
Yes, my other choice was actually going to be a shrimp cocktail, which is very, very similar to ceviche.
Yeah,
my mom makes the best shrimp cocktail.
I dated a girl just after high school that was a Mexican girl, and her mom taught me how to make traditional rice, like the real way with manteca, and like. And then her dad taught me how to make chicharrones in cast iron on the fire. Oh, this is a different world when you know how to do that, man. Like it opens up a lot of doors. It impresses people too. Like you take out that big cast iron pot, and they're like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, I'm gonna make you some chicharrones. Hang on." And yeah, one of my favorite things. Get your phone real fast.
I got it.
What's the last song that you listened to? I mean, you shouldn't even have to open it. It should be right there, right?
Chanel by Frank Ocean.
Frank Ocean. I know that song. Yeah, that's a good song. Nice. So like the soccer team, like what do you guys like to do? Like I obviously like to do the outdoor stuff, but do you guys play video games? Do you hang out? Who do you live with? Like give me a little more information on you.
So I'll tell you what we mainly do, since when we all hang out, or when we hang out with different people, because to be honest, we all like for the most part, we hang out with a main group, I guess, but then we're also like super quick to hanging out with someone we don't hang out with usually on the team. And the main thing we do is very basic, but we do play FIFA.
Oh, you do?
Often. Yes, that's like one of the main things we love doing as a team. Like if you're going to hang out with someone on the team, you're either going to go eat or you're going to probably play FIFA.
Well, that's where I met almost all the soccer players is at food establishments.
Yeah,
man, and FIFA, I have it. I've played it. I'm just not good at it.
Yeah,
I'm terrible. Do you play it on Xbox or PlayStation?
I'm a PlayStation guy myself.
You are. I'm an Xbox dude. I really enjoy MLB The Show, man. I was playing that last night. That's like my wind down after a long day. Put some show on and just chill out. So we talked about, the goals for this year, all that. The way I like to end it is basically pretend that I'm a recruit. So Dodsy here, I'm a senior in high school. Jesse sits me in front of you. Recruit me to EOU soccer.
I think the main thing I would say is if your goal is to grow as a player and to get success, this is the best place to come to right now, because that is the exact direction we're heading in. We're heading in my opinion at least, we're heading in the direction of success, and it's coming not super fast, but it's also not coming slow. We're moving, we're working. The guys are, like I said, we all have really ambitious goals this year for ourselves, like on a personal level and as a team. So it's very dangerous team to look out for in the recent time.
Nice. Okay, one last thing, because I forgot about it, which is the most important thing. What are you going to school for?
So right now I'm majoring in accounting with a minor in Spanish. So
a minor in Spanish? How can you minor in Spanish when you already speak it? I'm sure you speak Spanish.
It was more for like having the minor than anything else. It might change.
Isn't that cheating? Wouldn't that be like somebody who speaks Japanese minoring in Japanese?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I am almost kind of done with it. So, I mean, I basically am done with the like credits I would need to get the minor. So I will probably switch it.
What you know what the hardest thing about Spanish for me is, and I'm fairly fluent. The hardest thing about Spanish for me is verb conjugation, conjugating the verbs. So
Yeah,
like knowing what word to put in, how to change
yeah,
that word in front of the dude. That I struggled with it, and I had 2 years of high school Spanish, 2 years of college Spanish, and worked, in the kitchen
yeah,
and grew up, like of course working in a kitchen though, first thing you learn is all the bad words and all the
yeah,
jokes. You know what I mean? Like that's just normal. And then eventually once we got comfortable, they started teaching me more and more about, how to make the words sound like you actually, because I mean, even if you Google it, like if you try to do the Google translation, that's not always the way it's
yeah.
supposed to be. You know what I mean?
Sometimes it's
Cool.
too like accurate word for word translations.
Yeah, that's that, and that's not the case. Like when you're speaking Spanish, and it's a fun language. I love it. Actually, it's one of I mean, it's part of my childhood. It's part of my adulthood, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's awesome. Anyways, all right, he's EOU men's soccer. Rudy Salinas. Thank you, Rudy. I appreciate your time. I enjoy getting to know you guys, man. The best part of my job actually is getting to know these college athletes and getting to have conversations with them, following their social media. It's just so exciting to see people of such high energy level. And one of the things I talked to Rudy about after we recorded was, man, just how really truly genuine and how really truly good these college athletes at EOU are. And I appreciate that about EOU, and I'll continue to appreciate that. None of this is possible without Northwest Furniture and Mattress right here in LeGrand. Big red rocking chair on Elm off Adams. You can't miss it. Go check out their showroom. Go to their website. See what they got. I mean, if you need a TV stand, if you need a recliner, if you need a bedroom set, if you need a rocking chair, if you need a couch, go see Northwest Furniture and Mattress right here in LeGrand. Eastern Oregon. That's all I got for you on a Thursday. I appreciate you. I'm Dodsey, and I'm out.